Hello, my name is Dominic Underhallhouse and welcome to another episode of Moonbreaker. In today's video we're going to have another go at making a meta list that isn't an aggro list. So there's, as we all know, quite a lot of aggro around at the moment, and we're trying to find ways of working our way around that and finding, a couple of counter strategies to work our way through the, essentially the ladder. So the one we've come up with at the moment, as I've called it, Astra Long Haul. So we're in the fight for the long haul and it's got a couple of quirky bits in here. So the main thing we're going to be doing is in every Astra list that I like to play is turn 1 playing a Cinder Orb and then turn 2 using 4 Cinder on various different things. So if we're going second, the chances are we're going to be playing both Deadeye and Taria Arsenal to try and sort of compete on the board state there. If we're going first, we're probably looking at playing Crosshair or Broken Vengeance. Tipu is in there as a sort of a later game option. It's going to be something we want to into the breach, so we're going to try and use that to surprise, get a bit of damage out of there, and basically find ways of growing Tipu to the point that it's much harder for the opponent to deal with it. And then we've got Florio Lancer as a good way of using our Cinder in the late game. However, we've also, given that there is a lot of aggro around at the moment, we're playing Tona Mystic Manteo. So we're going to want to basically have a situation where if we're getting rushed down, we need that get out clause here. So that's what Tona's in the list for. It's not always going to be good. It means we have to reduce our Cinder spend, a bit later on in the game. But that's one of the reasons we're using Astra, is because she's got the gross Cinder to keep that income coming. And the other side of things as well is if we go straight into a 4-drop early on, and then later on in the game we're playing our other options, we've got the option of maybe even playing something like a 2-drop later on if we need to. We're still keeping the 3 2-drops. It's our standard sort of the same 3 every time, Taria, Beatris, Deadeye, as I think they're a really safe option. So we're going to change this to the proper Moonfall for the entrance, and we're going to take this into some PvP games and see how we go. So the things I'm again wanting to come up against is aggro lists. We have got the option of playing a couple of 2-drops early, which can be a really useful way of shutting things down. And I think Astra needs that because although she's got the Cinder advantage, which is a large part of her kit, and she's got the element of surprise coming in later on, then we are lacking it kind of in the form of early damage, because unlike Extilio or unlike Zax, we only have 1 damage actually coming from our character. So we need to find other ways of putting that on the table, and that's what we're going to try and do with this as well. The one thing that we do need to be aware of is if our opponent plays a turn 1, if our opponent gets turn 1 and has one of the movement assists, so Vortex or Disruptor Beam, then there's a good chance that we're going to need to place our Cinder Sphere very defensively. So let's see what's going here. This is also okay, here we go. Cinder Infusion Orbital is reasonable. Escape Hatch seems really good for us here. So Escape Hatch Vortex is probably what we're going to pick, because the movement assists are really powerful. Iron Storm and Stim Burst. Defensive, but Stim Burst doesn't really pair well with it. So we're going to go with that. This is the beginnings of our Iron Man Astra. Or I suppose Iron Heart. Weirdly enough, you can't see her face very well there.
Dad taught me to share.
So we're going first. They're playing Zax. They're a decent level Zax as well. So what we're going to do is we're just going to move up here and grow our Cinder basically as safe as possible. So depending on what they play, we've got a couple of options for next turn. I think looking at it, I'm quite happy with the idea of just playing Crosshair really early, because Crosshair applies a lot of pressure, especially if they play something on the battlefield now, and we can get Crosshair to somewhere safe.
Let's make history.
Yeah, so here's Maximus. We're obviously aware that Maximus is very likely going to be coming down in most games. So we're just going to take our Cinder. To be honest, I'm really tempted to pull Maximus away, but I don't think that's the right choice here. It could be the double 2-drops, but I think we're just going to play Crosshair out the back and try and keep safe and start dealing damage next turn. So next turn we've got 3 Cinder. So the reason we've not got any 3-drops on our curve is because we've worked it in so that if we're going for a 4-drop here, we want to be able to go for a 2-drop and a 1-drop the next turn, and the 1-drop being another Cinder Sphere. Okay, so them playing Maximus and actually falling back is really good for us here. I mean, we don't have a good line of sight with Crosshair, we don't have a good line of sight with Astra, but it does mean we can just move back down here, grow another Cinder, or we can try and get line of sight onto Maximus using our Vortex. Personally, depending where he can move. Only to there. I think I'd rather just grow ourselves another Cinder and try and play it safe. But, oh, we've also got Escape Hatch. So this gets us Tona or Florio. I mean, I don't want it to be Tona quite yet. Of course it was. So let's take our bot shot here. Ooh, we got it. So that almost makes me want to Crosshair for a bit more damage. So I think I'm actually going to pull him out and go for a stronger shot with Crosshair. Just try and get that early pressure down. 79 is good. Ooh, got the crit. That animation is gorgeous. And now, I think here we're going to just play our own offensive Taria. Actually, we're going to go with Deadeye, because we want to get the ability to put extra... Oh, we haven't grown Cinder. Put that back here. So yeah, we want to be able to get the extra accuracy onto Crosshair. So if they play something now, we can give Crosshair accuracy, and then just attack straight in. This is Disruptor, Corrosive. So they're just going to go for 3 damage onto Crosshair, and they missed. So what they play here matters where they play it, because there's a good chance we can get Crosshair to hit whatever it is for 5, because we're going to get the guaranteed crit, and we can give it plus accuracy as well. So yeah, this here is not going to work out too well. They need to place it basically back here, somewhere that Crosshair can't get accuracy onto it. They can't get line of sight onto it. So this is worked out well so far. Crosshair getting that crit onto Maximus was actually a really big deal. There you go. Alright, so they're playing their own Crosshair. So now we've got access to 6 Cinder, which means that we can start just moving up and starting to get a bit more aggressive. We can even start using things like Astra's Into the Breach to stop us missing out on damage, because getting hit by Crosshair rather is what I was trying to say. So we don't have anything here that gets us onto there. So I think we just go for a couple of strong shots, take a bit of damage off of Zax. We will move Tona back here. And so the question is, what do we want to do? I actually think it might even just be play Florio back here, and even just play another Cinder Orb over here, and then just make our way forwards. So this is another nice setup. We've got Vortex next turn. We've now got Florio out. We're going to be bringing either Broken Vengeance or Tipu the following turn. So our opponent isn't on an aggro list, which is one of the things to bear in mind here. They were playing Maximus, but yeah, I think we're in a really dominant spot here. We've got multiple units out here. We can Vortex our Crosshair into line of sight of something if they don't. Yeah, if they play something, we can pull it out, get that extra crit on there. I think we're very likely to do well here. So they're going as far back as possible with Crosshair, which is pretty reasonable if you ask me. What's Florio's range looking like? Okay, so we're not going to be able to get into range of anything quite yet. And then Deadeye is going to be at risk here a little. This is interesting, because what they play is here. There's a very good chance we're just going to Crosshair towards it. Wow. Okay. I mean, they can activate it with Zax next turn, but honestly, I think we're just going to Ozos onto Crosshair and just go for a couple of bits of damage onto their units here. So we're going to pull back as far as we can, get the Crosshair hit here. Similar thing here. So the reason we're not playing too much around with this at the moment is because they're going to be wanting to Vortex it out of place. But I actually think what we do is Vortex it further back, so it might even struggle with that. So make them really have to move in awkward directions, and we can just, every 2 turns, pull this further away and get a little bit more awkward stuff going on. So Astra's going to want to come over here, and what we're going to do, with 3 damage there, we don't have any 3 damage range attackers, but we do have Taria Arsenal. So we're going to play Taria Arsenal here. Into the breach. We're going to move her over here, seize initiative on herself, and go for the rapid fire to potentially kill here. Did get a miss, so that's pretty awkward. Florio's just going to move up, and everything else has guess we just go for that. So, slightly awkward that we missed that one, but again, they could take 2 units to hit here. Florio's moving forwards. Next turn his Bombard should be in range. So yeah, these 2 hits will kill this. We'll probably just ignore the Sentinel and just keep going for damage here. Yep, 95% dead, that's fine. Now I'm not sure what they do. I think I was going to say placing a mine isn't too bad. Ooh, shrapnel. Okay. So I think what they're probably relying on here is the fact that we're going to need to be moving into range of things soon. But we can just bombard the Florio and start doing this sort of thing. So we can only place Beatris down here, but I kind of like that here. So we're just going to place Beatris down onto Shrapnel, and then we can play either Broken Vengeance or Tipu, but I actually think we save that.
Visibility hazy today?
But we're going to start taking damage onto Crosshair in exchange for damage onto Zax. That crit probably changes a lot of this, so can we get another line of sight? Not onto Zax, so we're just going to move slightly back.
We'll get snacks soon.
Tona can move over here for no real reason. Astra has got bad lines of sight onto things that they can't really damage. Let's go here for potential crit. No, didn't think so. And I don't think we want to use into this here in case we get Tipu. We want Tipu to live. Okay, so we've got Vortex again this turn. Yep, they can get Deadeye. That's fine. We knew Deadeye was coming, but we're just going to take out their Zax here, I think. We're very likely to be able to take him out completely. Ooh, they might be able to get both, so that's... I mean, it takes Shrapnel as well. That requires them to use basically their entire roster's attack for a turn just to take out our 2. Oh, the crit. Okay, that doesn't do that then. So we've still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're actually 1 damage short here, but we can into the breach.
Let me at them.
So we probably can't into the breach and Florio. Yeah. We're not quite in melee range here. So I think we do have likely. You're very close to lethal. We can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, we've got 6 damage here at the minimum. So we get them down to 1 and then 1 Florio activation to do the job. So let's start by just bringing everyone to the party. Okay, so Astra's probably going to move away from here, but this is just making sure we can get the damage in. Ooh, the crit actually I think means we've got lethal. Yeah, it does. So that crit means we can into the breach, play our Tipu down, get Tipu to smash. Perfect. So that went really well. That felt like how sort of a later game list is supposed to hold up. But again, that came from us getting a really good first turn into Crosshair, into a crit on Maximus. It was kind of snowbally from there. I do think we'd have taken 2 more damage onto at least a couple of our units either... Yeah, well, a couple of things either way from Maximus, but that worked out well. I'm definitely looking at trying this again. I feel a lot more comfortable about this list than I did the Zax one that I tried, because I feel like the Zax one really did miss having that 1-drop, and I think the 1-drop is something that we really need to bring in most Zax lists, so bring in Maximus, so that we can have that a little bit of extra pressure, so that between turns 1 and 2 we should be able to kill another early unit if we can get them out of position. So that's why I think Maximus and Zax probably go together almost every game. I don't see a world in which we can not play one and still sort of play a game where we're competing early on. I'm still just wishing we had another good 3-drop so we could play Axel Pyro turn 3, play another 3-drop and activate turn 4. That would be perfect, but I think we're just missing that key piece. Okay, so against the Founders Pack Zax. And we are from Methador and Yaoeti with our Iron Man Servidor. So here, Vortex and Lifeline still really good. They shouldn't really be shooting our units unless they need to. I don't think Escape Hatch is the best here anyway for us, so I think it's Vortex Lifeline. And we are against Soul Rider Forever, who is a level 95. And we're going second.
Who wants a party favor?
So if they get this hit, that's not... Yep, that's not a pleasant start. So I think we're going to have to basically just run away and place our Cinder Orb somewhere. So
Just kidding.
go for the hit. We missed, of course, anyway. How far away can we place our Cinder? Okay, so is that going to have line of sight?
Let's let our hair down.
I don't think so. Let's just take this risk. I don't think they should have easy line of sight onto this with Maximus. If they do, they should shoot it. But I don't believe they will do. No, they don't. Okay. So that was the correct play. It was close, but it was correct.
Battle.
They can just go for damage onto us, and then hide. They only got one anyway, that's even better. Okay, they're just coming at us. Interesting. Zax has got an angle as well.
Easy there. Distracting.
Yeah, that's much more likely as a miss. And Rickety. So this is where normally we would want to play our own Rickety. If we had a Rickety here, I would absolutely be playing it. But we don't. So I'm kind of struggling with what we want to do here. Rickety was one of the other options I was considering for this stage in the game. I think we might be on play 2 units here, rather than just play Crosshair or Tipu, because I think they just die too easily. Yeah, so I think...
My dad would not approve.
I think what we do is we just shoot Rickety first, in fact. We can't move that much further back. So we're just going to move here. And we're going to play... The other option is trying to block in Maximus, but I don't think that's going to work very well. So let's just try and play defensively and far away. So we'll bring just up here with both of our units.
Anyone want ammo?
And then I also think
Let's see if we
actually just pull even further back with Rickety Backfire. So we want to keep Rickety as far away from us as possible. And next turn with 3 Cinder, we don't have an option of into the reaching something, but we can still Beatris and Cinder Orb. Yeah, that's fine. So I think what we're actually most likely to catch is this going to be Bitol? Defense Dome. Okay, so they're not going for the full aggro either. They've just got enough defensive things here to play around with. So they're going to go for moving back into there as well. Which is very interesting.
That's velvet.
So we don't have Vortex yet. We can't do anything about that. And we're just going to need to run away and poke 2 damage onto Maximus, I think. This is not good. We're going to be playing Beatris in this little gap, most likely, to sort of defend us. Moving up this way and placing our Cinder Orb down. And from there we're going to be trying to defend a little. What's this? Peacemaker Balam. Wow. It's a really interesting list. Again, it's interesting that Rickety and Maximus are giving so much pressure onto us early on. We're down to 13 without really even trying to do anything quirky. I don't know how I like just how powerful the 2-drops are, but it is absolutely how it's working. And it's working for them as well. So, we're going to just move up for a shot here. Just try and get 1 damage. We missed anyway. Try and get another one here. We got the what?
Don't worry, the tree gave
So,
us these.
We are going to play Beatris down. We've got little gaps here for line of sight. And up there is Balam, who can probably get in range of everything we want to.
Scramble.
So the question is, where do we place our Cinder Orb? And I think the answer is just over here. Because Maximus can't get in range over that way, Rickety might be able to. I think we want the Cinder Orb just over here. I'm kind of worried about Balam in this situation, because yeah, they should actually be able to stun 2 of our units. That probably puts us in a lot of trouble.
Breathe in deep.
Interesting. So I didn't think Balan was ever going to be that useful. Okay, so they're going, yep, just to us again.
You kind of liked it, didn't you?
The question is whether they want to develop more damage or they want to put Balam out. Because we've got the Vortex next turn, we're likely to just be pulling their defense dome away from things. By things, I mean anything we can get our hand on to just keep living. Especially if they go for the Vortex with Balam. There's a good chance we end up playing Florio. Florio does well into this, even though it's reduced damage, it's still a good amount of damage. This could be a strong Spore Puff. If they go defensive, we'll do whatever we can to try and kill him, but I don't know if that's really going to work. What we'd like to do is find a way of... Yeah, Defense Dome's going to be right into the centre, so I'm not sure how we deal with this. We've got their Nectar Mine. This is a really defensive list. I like this list. I might have to try this at some point as well. It's going quite well for them so far, because they've still just got enough pressure. I think what we might be doing is just pulling this way, and or maybe including them and pulling it all this way.
Why not?
Because that was what we wanted to kill. Okay. So let's try and pull things over here and just see what happens. Didn't go far enough.
What is this armor made of?
So,
Course
in
it's
terms of
safe to
shots, there's
drink.
not really much we can do here. We can only really go onto things we don't want to kill.
This is good.
But I think most importantly, we want to be splitting things up. So we'll move this over here. There we go, we can get a shot. Go that way. Might as well go for this.
No,
Yeah,
no,
not
no.
expecting anything to hit there anyway. Anything we can shoot from here. Got an 11% on that. Anything slightly better? 54, there we go. Got our one, that's not going to matter too much. And then I think we just need to play Florio out, but we also need to not die.
Something sounds imminent.
I'm kind of worried that anywhere we go. So what if we place this here,
Let's let our
and then
hair
place
down.
Florio down back here? Astra's already moved, so we just need to place it down fast.
Eyes open. Kill.
We should have grown a Cinder as well. So Florio can die here. In fact, it's not even unlikely to. But I think Florio's our only way out of this. This is a really good defensive unit from our opponent. Yep, so they're going for the aggro finish with their defensive units. So they've got
Time to strike.
3 full supports. That crit is pretty brutal.
That was just a warm.
That means we are not out of the realms of dying to 2 different shots.
You're gonna get both my hearts attacked.
And this could potentially poke us here as well. It can get this down to 1.
You can barely see it.
Nope, didn't even explode, which is unfortunate. We do, however, have a lifeline that we can start using.
We've arrived.
So they've got their own Florio. So we can probably kill Rickety. With shots from sort of over here and Beatris, which is a good start, but nobody's lost any units yet, which is really interesting, but we're down to 11 health. But they don't know about our Tona.
Rules, rules.
So depending on where they can get this to... Yeah, okay, so they're still defending everything over here, knowing that we're probably kind of shoehorned into trying to deal with things this side. So we'll just go for this for now.
Here we go. Again.
Yep, we've got the 2.
Want some talus fruit?
Go for... Let's leave a slight gap there for the other unit if we need to. Perfect.
Amia's no joke.
So, the question is how we deal with what's going on over here. We can obviously bombard a few things. Can't get line of sight onto Maximus with anything easily. So I say we go for this. It's the best bombard we've got. We'll heal our Florio.
Excellent. This is good.
Should probably try and just scooch a little. Go for this. There we go, we got a hit. And move over this way. And then frankly, I think we just want to save ourselves
I'm having fun.
some more cinder up, so I'm going to move over here. And just grow a cinder just there. We'll shoot this. Oh wow, we did get the crit.
Didn't teach that in
Florio can just hide.
training.
Florio's in range of everything anyway. Maybe they won't think our cinder's relevant, they just try and push and kill us. It's a really good game. Because I don't think we're out of this yet. Especially not with things like this. And with our Vortex next turn, there's a good chance we can kill either the Dome or the Neck Divine. And they're the big issues here. So Balam has to move in order to get this, but it can do, which is fine. So we might even be just Vortexing with Beatris over here to get damage onto that. We'll just Vortex some Florio into a few things. It's very likely that we can't afford to Florio next turn, and we might need to play out Tona. So this is getting quite awkward quite quickly.
Check this
But we
out.
are going to have 9 Cinder. So 9 Cinder... Oh, they're killing our Cinder. Yeah, that's actually a really big issue here. So now we have to Tona, but we can only gain 2.
I'm used to taking my time.
If they're going for this, yeah.
Safe and sound.
I like this list from my friend. They played it really well as well.
Want to borrow my panic beacon?
Sabria Safeguard, okay. So we've still not lost a unit, but we're very close to losing a commander. So the question is, can we pull Maximus out somewhere that we can get line of sight? I believe we can. So Maximus is the one that's going to be killing us here. So this is why we need to move this way.
Never gets old.
Who
So we'll start with this.
Real fur couple.
Florio can move back slightly. We have to move Deadeye over here.
Let's let our hair
And same
down.
for Astra.
Whoa, careful.
Oh, that miss is brutal. Okay, so how far is movement range? Okay, it might just be that we need to
Get in the game.
into the reach and play out something else. Yes, let's go Tipu. Gets the damage off. And then we're actually going to grow Cinder. Where's their range shots? So there. So we're going to grow Cinder here.
Something sounds imminent.
We'll be slightly further forward to reduce the angle they can get onto. Oh, wonderful miss, Astra. So again, if they leave the Cinder alone, we have got Tona, but they're probably going to go for this Cinder triple here. Yeah. So we didn't want them to take that. We can gain 2 life with Tona. The issue here is they've actually not got that much left that gains life, but we can't save ourselves from Florio actually. This needs to miss or we lose to Florio. 1 in 5. It hits. So, unless we can gain any other Cinder or stop Florio from doing anything, we actually are dead. We don't have anything here that saves us more than that. Florio's range is... Let's go with significant. Yep, we're still stunned here, so that was our out for this route.
Like a snug onesie.
And damage there, that's fine. Yeah, so we don't actually have a way out of this. If they just go for their Florio and don't make any mistakes, we're just going to die. So we're going to...
This is good.
Basically, we'll take that hit off. It missed anyway.
This armor made of?
We can start running forwards with things. So we're going to move over here. We'll play Tona Mystic Manteo and hope our opponent misses the line of doing the only thing they can do that kills us. If we were 1 turn later, we'd have actually, I think, been able to pull this back. Yeah, Florio in range, get the bombard going. That's so close as well. Jeez. Oh, I just wish there was that little delay so we could type or put the GG in there. I really like that list. So I'm going to try and make a version of that. I'm going to be basically coming back and watching this video. I don't know what their last unit is, but I'm absolutely going to be recreating that and trying that in a future video, because what better way to learn than from someone who's better than us, who's managed to create a really solid looking Zax list. That's about what I was trying to come to with one of the ones I was working on off of camera. I was trying to create one that was going to be a replacement for the previous list, and obviously running things like Taria Arsenal, running Maximus and things like that is the early game I wanted, and I was unsure about how the late game was going to play out. That one worked really, really well. I think that might be my next list. It looks like a sort of a refined version of what I was trying to do. But the list we played today, I've actually had a lot of fun with it. I've really enjoyed it. I think it wasn't overbearing, but I think it was really, really close to being what we needed. I think it might need a couple of curve tweaks and things like that. I could see a world in which we'd want something like Axel Pyro. Florio's been MVP. Crosshair would have been good to get out a little bit, or just like keep alive, keep around. We didn't quite get to do our thing, but I really liked it. Broken Vengeance wasn't really for that matchup, so I'm fine with that front. And it might have been the wrong thing there just to go and kill the Maximus. Maybe if we'd have played the Tona, we could have lived and we could have had a real shot in that game. So, really enjoyed it. I actually think it's got a lot of potential here. I'm probably going to play this a few more times. And so I want to thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. We're getting really, really close to our first 100 subscribers. And so at the point of saying this, I think we're on 87, and I'm going to hopefully do some sort of community feedback for our 100th games. So 100th subscriber. So we're going to do things like, putting people's paint schemes on show, do some user suggested lists, that sort of thing, and just have a bit of fun with it. So thank you very much for watching, and more than that, have a good day.